about the scream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
The primal scream.
They saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're. God, I have a headache. My vision's blurry. Okay, we're live. We're just starting to get people come in. I'm going to play the intro.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a minute, 20 seconds. Everybody was excited that you were coming on. Sorry, I didn't stop by the hair. I didn't stop by the hairdresser.
No, neither did I.
Yeah, your hair looks good. You look like you're younger. I don't know what's going on with you. Even talking to you yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had just come out of hibernation. I was like half off planet anyway. But yeah, you look good, and you look good today.
Yeah. Thanks. It's funny hearing that intro music. It's sort of like, it's just so ingrained in my heart now that every time I hear it, it's like,
No, it's crazy.
It's that time.
I knew the first time I heard it, I knew something was up with it. I've tried to contact the guy. He hasn't responded, or maybe I don't know how to do it. But I try to contact. I don't know, how do you contact somebody when you see them on YouTube? How do you find their email? But
it's not easy, is it?
I don't think so. So and he did them like a few years ago. It's actually a cover of a Chet Faker song, but it doesn't sound like the song.
No.
So I don't know how that, but I like it. He's got some other stuff that's pretty cool. So, so everyone, so you were coming on the 17th, and I was like, look, because we connected last night for Soulology stuff, and which we didn't even get through. I was thinking about it today. I'm like, okay, nothing. But so I was telling you yesterday that I came out of this hibernation of about 2 days. I wasn't really on social media Saturday and Sunday, my Saturday and Sunday. And the first thing I saw was when I pulled up I turned my phone on and I turned on Facebook, my news feed popped up. Morgan had put up shared a post that you did where you screamed. So then I watched it, and I read your words, and I watched it, and then I looked at all the comments, because it had only been out like an hour. It said 1 hour, so 1 to 2 hours, and there was all these people totally getting it, and I'm like, wow, that says it all. Like, it's almost like, what is it like? You have something with a lot of pressure, like a balloon, and you stick a pin in it and pop it. To me, it was like there was a lot of pressure in the community or in the field. You could just see it, and then you came in and popped it with a pin, and it was all gone.
Yeah, and that's very much what it felt like too. So it's interesting because as I mentioned to you yesterday, I was just sitting in my car driving. I'm singing along to the songs that are coming on and stuff like that, and it's sort of like I could feel this pain in my chest and up through my throat, my tongue, and it was quite intense. And I was like, "What is that?" And like I wasn't upset, I wasn't angry, I wasn't feeling any rage or anything, and I'm sort of like just going, "What is that?" And I'm sort of like observing it, and I'm going, "Wow, that is rage."
Yeah.
And it was sort of like, oh, okay, I don't really know this feeling. And it's sort of like, then I wanted to smash something. And I was driving and I'm still like, oh, I better pull over my car and go for a bit of a walk. It's probably not a good thing to want to smash something when you're driving. And so I pulled over and it's sort of like, then the guidance popped in and said, just turn on your camera and just yell. And so I did, and it's sort of like, and then I watched it back, and I did a little nod at the end of it, and I was sort of like, yeah, the guidance was right, because it eased straight away. That pain that I was feeling just went, and it just kind of unlocked something, and posted it, and then I continued driving down to Adelaide, and by the time, and my phone was going ding, 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 and I was like, oh. And I'm sort of like thinking, oh shit, have I triggered people? What have I done? And you go into that space for a moment, and then I sort of turned on my phone and had a look at the comments and stuff, and saw a few messages, one from Morgan, and it was just beautiful. And I'm sort of like, yeah, people really connected with that. And then I was reading the comments, and they got it, and I know from my own experiences, I've suppressed so much, and I've suppressed a lot of anger, and it's never actually found physical expression. And so it's just been sitting inside me. And on Thursday, I went to the chiropractor, and she did a lot of work on my pelvis, specifically my pubic bone, and then also my upper chest. And it's like she just kind of, it like cracked something open.
Wow.
And that's what was released. It was like every unexpressed emotion of anger turned into this physical rage that physically came up through my body and then got expressed through my voice. And it was just, the power of it was just instant. Yeah. And
Let's
it's,
see. I'm going to see if I can. Let me see. Hang on. This works. Every time I try this, it doesn't work. That's it. Let's see what happens. Wait. Oh, here it is. So this one. Oh, wait. See if you can see it. Can you see it?
no.
Huh.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me see if it's showing up. Hang on. You couldn't see it.
no.
I think.
But that's okay. I was there.
I know. I think that. Let's see if they saw it. I don't know if they did. Anyway, most of them saw it. I was going to play it because Candace said she needed to go look at it. She hadn't seen it. But yeah, and that was the thing about, and I even said to you, I was like, I was telling Delia and Michael this morning, I was like, I watched the whole thing and I thought, oh, there it is right there. That's all of it right there. And then I thought, I wonder if she hadn't written anything prefacing it, how many engagements would she have had? And I bet it would have been as many or more. Like there was something about the nonverbal verbalization,
Yeah.
like there was
Yeah.
something to that, and that little
Yeah.
nod, right?
Yeah. My little acknowledgement at the end.
I liked it. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You go, girl.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Because, uh, you know, those people who know me know that I've had trouble expressing myself. So,
yeah,
it really is a balancing. And I saw in the comments, a lot of people got it straight away. It's that balancing of suppression with expression.
yeah,
And
yeah.
always when you're coming into that balance, it gets distorted either side, and you end up expressing what shouldn't be expressed, and then you end up suppressing what shouldn't be suppressed, and then you come into the balance of it, and it's just sort of like, okay, there's the PowerPoint, there's where it originates. Yeah.
I think that's what's happening. For
Mm.
all the, I'm just reading a message because I asked Michael if he was up for a show tomorrow. And he sent a note to the group that's in the show and said, I know it's been an intense few weeks. You guys good to go for tomorrow? But if I look at these intense few weeks, to me, we're moving into alignment.
Yeah.
Like for
Yeah.
every bit of the old seemingly old cycles or loops of drama or chaos or even projection, uh, I see alignment.
Mm.
I really
Mm.
do. I see alignment. Just like in that I keep wanting to call it an echo, but that scream was like an echo.
Mm.
And to me, like I played it over and over for like 6 or 7 times. When I first heard it, I just kept letting it go because it kept going back. I pushed play back. But there's something about that energetically. Like when you started it, you were one person, and when you finished it, you were another.
Mm.
In 7 seconds.
Mm.
So that to me was like alignment. Almost
Yeah.
like what you were talking about the chiropractor. Like it's, and of course it's all linked, it is, but like you were talking about, you're having a problem in the pelvic area. Well, that's the sacral and the root where that stuff's really, and so maybe that's just how I see it. Like
Mm-hmm.
at the end of that scream and the nod was like, oh shit, she's here. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
she landed.
Yeah. 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 And it's always a long time coming, isn't it? Um,
Here,
I
somebody,
was going to say something and I've completely
go ahead.
forgotten.
I'm going to write your, somebody's asking again. I don't know why it doesn't show up. I'm gonna have to look into that. So this is her full name on Facebook, and you can find it. Oh, there it is. You can find it on there, and I'm gonna be playing it some more. I'm
Yeah.
gonna put it into the
Yeah.
channel.
It's public, so anyone can access it.
Yeah,
And I think Morgan shared it on the Sology group as well. So,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was just such a little spontaneous thing. And it's like,
it was huge,
I was
man.
just so surprised
And
at the response and the support and how people really connected with it. And I mentioned to you yesterday, I'm going to pay homage to someone I admire very much, Marina Abramovich.
mm,
And I know she's not everyone's cup of tea, and she can be very provocative in her presentation of her performance art, but she really inspires me. And I used to be a very theatrical person, and I lost my expression along the way
mm,
about 30 years ago, and I'm reconnecting with that. And I've found, just that 7 seconds, that 7 second scream released,
that's
a
fun.
whole lifetime of things that were being held in those regions in my body. And it can be that simple. And yet sometimes, I know, especially in my own case, I take the long, difficult, winding path to get through something, but it took me a long time to be able to find that screen. So
Yeah, but and so there was like, we can get onto I mean, this is so important. I know it's 7 seconds, but there was so much said in it, and to me, it's like alignment was one of them. Self empowerment,
mm,
uh,
mm,
like liberation, and the fact that it was so short.
yeah,
Like less is more. Like when I
yeah,
when I saw it and I saw that it ended so fast, I was like, oh man, I could have like let this go, let it go, But less is more. Like
mm,
it's just brilliant.
mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Somebody asked again. It's on her page, okay, and it's also on the Soldier group. It's on Morgan's page, but it's on Leilani's page on Facebook. It's a public page. I put it up there at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can edit my name so it's got my full name.
yeah.
Uh, Look at this multitasking.
There you
Um,
go.
yeah. Uh,
I'm still in a bit of a daze from the weekend. There you go, Freddie. Freddie put it up. Yeah, and then I don't know. It's just we had a good show today with this sister. We just met her, and I don't remember her name now. God, I'm horrible with that. But she lives in Idaho, and she is a mental health therapist, certified.
mhm.
And she started getting downloaded, and now she's doing the same thing from a holistic energy practitioner standpoint. So it's kind of interesting, but And she's in a relationship. He's a psychologist, and he's one of those that's awake but doesn't know it. So we've heard that before on the show. Oh, Jess was her name. Thank you. Anyway, I made a joke about what's going on. How's it going? And she just kind of rolled her eyes and was like, "Oh my God!" Like these last few weeks. Oh my God! But the reason I brought it up is because she said, "I don't think it's going to stop." We started talking about her relationship and how that differed from previous relationships. And then she brought up, because there's a lot of people splitting up right now. And to me, that's less about the relationships and more about the intensity and the good pressure and good stress that the energy's providing. And she's like, yeah, I would not make any decisions on anything till after the first of the year.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring that up is because it's like, even when, like we were talking yesterday, and I made the joke, like, I don't even have time to concern myself with other people's stuff. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah.
But Todd's a full-time job, which is mostly resting and doing a little work. And that's about it right now.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I've actually got a lot of time at the moment.
And
which is blissful, because for many years I've had not a lot of time. And so it's really nice to be in that space. And I want to share my time with people. Yeah. I'm enjoying it. I've actually been reclusive for a good period of time.
Yeah.
And, it's just talking to people, having conversations like this. And it really fills me up.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. And that's, I mean, it's like there are primarily two energies that are meeting in the middle, two paths, and they can be, you can be on the same path or trajectory with somebody, but you can also be coming from a different end of the spectrum in regard to another aspect of our journeys. And so for somebody who's been out there, and you know what I mean? Like I have engaged people a lot over the years, and then I've talked about it. I've gotten away from it. And then like someone that's been very quiet, yeah, then I can see where it would come from the other direction. Candace says Leilani looks radiant, doesn't she? That's what I've been saying since last night. Something's going on here.
It's summer in Australia.
Is it summer?
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't know it at the moment because there's a cold snap, but yeah, it's been lovely and warm. Not that that's the whole reason. It's just, yeah, I'm in a good space. I am radiating, and I'll own that. I don't mind. Thank you very much, Candace. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
but that's another part. There's so many attributes of and evidence of the transformations, symptoms or characteristics. And one of those is what you just did, which is to accept a compliment. Because for every one of us that suppressed stuff, and we all did it, depending on, you know what I mean? There was equal measures of, not speaking up, not being able to take a compliment. That was a big one for a lot of people, don't you think?
I think the shift is, and again, speaking from my own perspective, is a compliment in the old paradigm and in the old energy had attachments.
True. That's true.
And now there's no attachments to that compliment. It's like, yeah, I can accept that. Thank you very much. I can see that in myself.
That's very true.
And there's no attachment either on my end or on the giver's end.
Yeah.
So, that's a beautiful space to be in.
Yeah. And I love you same way. I love you. So you got a different meaning now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas before, telling someone you love them, it's sort of like, so, it comes with baggage and attachment and wounds and a whole lot of things, and that doesn't exist in our paradigm. And it can just be beautiful and open and free in what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heather Nielsen said, "Great scream, Leilani. I did it the other day." Unlike she must have went just looked at it. Unlike you, I just felt so much rage in my car, and I just screamed. I felt great, and I was calm after that.
Mm.
Yeah, I sent you a note yesterday. I was supposed to try to connect with you. I said, let's try tomorrow. And that was so funny because that was the first thing I saw. And then when I saw you, I was like, I'm glad I didn't call you earlier. And you're like, no, I'm calm and cool. What you want?
Yeah, and that's it. It was just an expression, and it wasn't directed at anything, and it was just organically
Yeah.
rose, and it got expressed, and let's move on and go back to singing your songs, driving your car.
God.
Uh,
And I really think that's what a lot of this is. It's stuff coming up in different ways, but it's the same thing. It's coming up
mm,
to say goodbye. It's not
yeah,
in our. It's not going to be. It's not in our field anymore. And
yeah,
it takes some work to keep it going in your field now. Like
mm,
you can engage that type of energy. If somebody throws some energy at you, throws some shade at you, whatever, you can engage it. But we've all been through it enough to realize it's not going anywhere.
mm,
That it's going to deplete me if I do engage it. There's just so much working against it, right? Like
yeah,
it's just not it's more comfortable, which doesn't mean it's comfortable, but it's more comfortable to stick with seeing things for what they truly are and aligning the thoughts, words, and actions.
yeah. And I have found, we do get caught up in it. We do get um, either we create energies or we get caught up in energies, but we're getting really good at um, wording it up, at recognizing it and seeing it before it gets out of control or
Yeah,
distorts too far.
yeah,
And, I think each of us are aware now that we can each take self responsibility. And so, if I project on someone, that immediately they understand that, I'm going through something.
yes,
Just give me a little bit of time. I'm going to work it out. I don't mean
yes,
anything against you. It is not directed at you. It's just more about me and what I need to work through. And so when working with other people, it's like you can recognize that in others as
yeah,
well. And
vice
it's sort of
versa.
like
Yeah,
I honor and respect you for what you're going through right now.
yeah,
And I'm not going to take it personally, and I'm just going to hold the space, or whoever is the giver or receiver. And a lot of us are working in triads now, which makes it even more interesting because
yes,
you've got generally three powerful energies, or three people who have fought for their own
yeah,
empowerment,
yeah.
trying to find their own space together. And it's really important that we honor the journey that each other's having, and respect it, and try not to take things personally. Um,
I
and
feel like the difference now is, like it's like, because of the experience I have because I'm on every show, and so I've watched all this transforming, evolving collectively through people and through my own experience myself, watching myself. Um, so it used to be we said certain things, but saying them and doing them, or saying them and experiencing them, are two different things.
mm,
Like, people would say, oh, you have to, like somebody could, like, okay, somebody projects. Like I project on you. Let's say I project on you, and you just go, okay, Todd, I'll catch you tomorrow. Right.
yeah,
But in your head, you're like, okay, I can see what's happening. This is the path. Maybe I made it too short, whatever your response would have been, but whatever. But if it was 6 months ago, and I'll use myself as an example, I probably would have said, hey, you're projecting on me. It's okay. I love you. And because the collective was in a certain spot, that person then is going to be like, hey, who do you think you are? What are you talking about? Whether they know they're projecting or not. So you see, what I'm saying is that third energy, which is indicative of the triad energy and the trinity energy.
mm,
Even if it's two people, there is a triad energy in that third end of the triangle that is working in cooperation with us, which I think was inhibited up until 2020. Franco talks about the inverted matrix projection was turned off on or about the first of the year. And I'm not saying that's gospel, but there is something different now. You can see that equality and love and goodness and all those virtues of the soul are not being interrupted. Things are still being distorted, but what's the difference between mainstream media or whatever the platforms are sending distortion out into our field? What's the difference between that and what your example was, and somebody projects on you? You know what I mean? What's the difference? I mean, am I going to engage it? I see it for what it is. I think that's why so many people are quiet right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know from my own experience, if I project, I feel shit. I'm pretty hard on myself. And if I, which we do, we slip up. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
We're all going to have our little things where we trip ourselves over. But I know from my experience, if I project onto someone, I usually feel really bad about it. And quite often I can go to the other extreme and be over apologetic.
Yeah, and that's another thing that has to go. Like, I was writing a piece last night, and at the end of it, there's a little part of it that says, here it is. So it's like, when doing the right thing would be done again and again, no matter the outcome. So in other words, being in a space where, you don't project, or let's say that you have a rift with somebody and you don't, and the best thing you can come up with is, I'm going to go and apologize for what I'm not going to qualify the statement. I'm just going to say, forgive me. I love you. I'm sorry. Thank you. However that goes, or just without any expectation on what they tell me. Right. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, we're in a space now for me where we can see things for what they are, and we're going to make the same decision because there's only one decision to make, which is kind of weird, but it's true.
Simplifies it, doesn't it?
Yeah. But it's just, we're not used to it. There's all that second guessing and assumptions and the loops, I can't, how many times, and I can see it coming now, how many times people, before they even say something to me, I know where their head's at. And I know it's happening to everybody. Like I was telling you last night, we've been talking, you and I have been talking telepathically leading up to all last week. Because like when we started talking, I'm like, oh my God, she's right where I'm at. Like we didn't get into the intricacies, but we were talking about certain things. We're on the same page. It's like, why do we even have this conversation? Like, and if you think about it, most of the, let's say most, well, probably more than 50% of the conversations we had was explaining ourselves when we don't need to, right? And feeling bad for this and that, and
yeah. But at this stage, we still need to. I think we still need that conversation to confirm
doesn't hurt
that yes, we are on the same page. Yes, we are along the same lines, and
no, you're
because
right.
It's still quite new to us. I know, again, from my own experience, is with telepathically and being empathic, and things like that. I have conversations with people in my head all the time, and if I don't confirm it out loud by having a conversation or touching on it with someone, then the energy still kind of exists. It's like a closure. Having the conversation and saying it out loud is kind of like a closure, in a sense.
Well, it won't hurt. And you know, we
Mm,
are in a transition. And that transition is, well, it's winding tighter and tighter and tighter. So if
mm,
we do, and I think it's all comes back to intention.
yeah.
If my intention is to confirm and validate and share, um, you know, as opposed to any of the old codependent, patterns,
Mm,
because not all the codependent patterns were based on malice. It
yeah.
wasn't like
Yeah.
that. It was just it's all we had to play with. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like that's all we knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I see that
And
changing.
I think, like telepathic conversations, these are over vast, vast distances. You're in
Mhm.
America, I'm in Australia.
Mhm.
It's different when someone's in a room next to you because you know that you have that resonance. It's right there.
Yeah,
You don't necessarily need to have to say the words because you can see it on that person's face. You've got other non-verbal cues that you can receive confirmation if you need confirmation. But working at the distances that we're working at, you know, whew, this is still pretty new to us little humans,
yeah,
us big humans. Sorry, I shouldn't say little. Us divine humans. Um, so it's we're still navigating this.
yeah. True. Very true. Yeah, I think that's a very good point because I say all the time we don't give ourselves enough credit,
Mm,
and I think that's starting to change. And then the other part is uh, not just credit for what we've accomplished, but actually what we've had to contend with.
mm.
I mean, that's some badass work
Oh yeah,
going through all this crap, on a
yeah.
personal level, on a global level, all the conditioning and the programming. I mean, if you think about it, I'm 50. Oh, I'll be 59 in 2 days. That's funny. But if I think back to, so say 50, basically 59 years, and 9 years ago, is that right? Yeah, 9 years ago, I rewoke. The the speed of the removal of these veils or these shadows or whatever you want to call it, in comparison to the amount of linear time the embedment, the embedding of it took place. Like, it's mind blowing.
Mm,
It's really mind blowing if I look back to 2011, 2012 and look at not just in my own situation, but what I've been involved with and been able to view. The level of transformation has been off universe. It's just been
mm,
mind blowing when you can,
mm,
and it also shows you or shows me how no matter if there was thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years of programming, okay, and malicious strategizing, control, whatever, that it's a finite energy grounded in duality, deception, and destruction.
mm-hmm.
And then over here you've got a much smaller linear time frame, but look at the speed
I know.
of.
I'm really excited.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too. I
it's like
really
I'm
am.
excited now. It's just sort
Hmm.
of like, oh, the frenetic energy that's building up inside of all of us, I think, is
You have to be careful if you go to that
phenomenal.
chiropractor again. You might have to space it out every now and then.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
not going till 2021 now, so
oh, there you go. No, but that's
uh,
true. But so what I see happening, and this is really my own self talk. Like, so the distortion, the only thing that energy has ever shown is distortion.
mm,
It's not able to manifest. It just distorts and presents and presents. So, like, if you look at mainstream media, it's controlling certain narratives. It's obvious. It's comical. So I can see those things getting louder, and I keep telling myself, whether it's in my personal life or my professional life or whatever, because it can show up anywhere, right?
Mm.
Is to remind myself that there is no doubt that there are equal degrees of expansion in the transformation side of things as there is on the distortion side of things at a minimum. I actually think that the transformation trajectory has much faster, much more powerful, because that's an infinite stream
Yeah.
versus the distortion part of it being a finite stream.
Yeah.
This won't
Yeah.
work.
Well, let's take, okay, for example, this lifetime of mine. You know, the 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 self-defeating behaviors and um, beliefs that I had built up over 40 years.
Yeah.
And then what it's taken me 5 years to turn those around. Five to 10. I don't know.
Yeah. So there you go.
It's a sliding scale. But, you know, when you look at it from that perspective, it's sort of like, yeah, okay, we can do this really quickly.
Yeah.
5 years when you're going through it seems like a long time, but at the end of the day, it's just a small fraction. And,
Well, yeah,
and it's only getting quicker.
I know. That's what's amazing. So crazy, because there's almost everywhere you look, you can call it paradoxical, but it's almost like inverse relationships. You know what I mean? Like for instance, time. Like if you look at it from a linear level, this year has been like slow. Like, you know, it's been like, and now here at the end of the year. But energetically speaking, it feels like it's been 3 or 4 years, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's this inverse happening, which is it's not becoming it's becoming less and less of a factor in our lives. Like, you know, just if you look at jobs, I mean, people aren't going to work. They don't have that schedule. You're not going to church on Sunday. And unfortunately, you can't go to the bars on Friday night. You know, I mean, there are all these things that you would do but no, seriously. Yeah, it's just, it's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool to see all this stuff breaking down like this.
I was speaking to someone the other day and I said, contrary to popular belief, 2020 has probably been the best year I've ever had.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just been, action-packed, quiet, you know, controlled. It's been everything all packed into one. You know, you couldn't write an action movie with all the stuff that 2020 has brought. And yet it's been so transformational for so many people. And, you know, people like me who dip, you know, the turtle. I used to have a turtle as my profile picture. And like I'd stick my head out of my shell. Are you there? I've frozen.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. I'd stick my head out of my shell for a little while and see what it was like and you know, let people see me for a minute, and then I'd get scared and pull myself back in. And
that's good.
That's gone. That's
is it? Because I feel like a turtle.
There.
I feel like a turtle lately. But I go in and, you know, let all the bombs go off, and I'm in my protective shell.
Yeah.
But one of the things I see why you're saying it. But one of the things I see happening too is people are, you know, they're, well, by force or flow, it's happening. The alone time, the solitude. And that doesn't mean you have to be like in your own space for 2 weeks, or because we've all been through enough. We can find solitude, and we don't, you know, we can accomplish what used to take us 2-hour meditation. We can do in 20 minutes or less. You know, I mean, it's like it's not just quantum and, you know, in certain parts of the experience. It's all of it.
Mm.
I think if we embodied experienced, if we embodied, well, I guess it's the same thing. If we experienced what we knew at the speed that we find out, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. We'd be like click, 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 you know. But there is that lag time, because I can tell you something and you can tell me something, and you know, and I've gone through this with Morgan. You know, she'd tell me, I've been telling you that for 2 years. And I'm like, you can tell me all you want, but I don't get it until I experience it.
Yeah.
And I can't always dictate when I experience something. Not 100%. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that conscious. I'm getting there, but I'm not that conscious where I say, okay, I got that epiphany came in. I get it. I put a post out on it, and now I'm that thing. Well, I'm not, you know, because I've been doing it long enough, and I look back at stuff I wrote or said on a video. I'm like, wow, you said that as a conduit or wrote that, yet you didn't get that till, and I can see it, like 6 months, 9 months, weeks, whatever.
I often say things that I'm about to experience.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like the example was, you know, 5 years ago when I met Suzanne and Morgan doing transpersonal counselling, I was still very much unawakened. And I signed up and I did that course because I needed to learn everything I was about to go through. And that's the way I operate. That's why I read books. I read books and I learn about what I'm about to experience. And I do the same with music. I download music because I know that when I play the music in that order that I've downloaded, it's going to evoke something in me. But at the time when I'm doing that, I don't quite understand it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was trippy. I have trippy things happen. I have trippy things happen on this show all the time.
What happened?
Your voice did something.
There was a phone call coming through.
But then your face kind of faded too. Okay, that's what it is. You know, and that's another thing. I'll be laying in bed, like I've had. So Morgan's been on 1, 2, 3. This will be the 4th night. And so when I lay in bed, obviously she's not there, but you know, I still do the same thing. First night, I could feel her. It was crazy. I had forgot about it till this morning, but man, it was crazy. Like I could literally feel her weight on the bed. It was crazy. But what I was going to say is, over the last, for really about 6 nights, I've had the presence or the audience or of these kind of blue beings, right? And a lot of information going on. And I'm just like, I'm like getting to the point where I'm done trying to figure anything out. Like it's not serving me. It's not part of the new software. What's there to figure out? You know what I mean? It's like, it's really weird. I really want to verbalize this stuff soon, but it's like, these things are not in the new software. Like rage is not in the new software, right? Having to know everything is not in the new software, because you know everything, right? You know what I mean? So it's like there's this weird thing going on that's affecting our communication. It's creating more identity deaths. Yet at the same time, there's this simultaneous expansion if we utilize it, but there's no directions on how you utilize it. So you have to pick someone up and say, hey, we've been telepathing for 3 or 4 days. Let's test it and see.
Yeah. Right? Yes. Yeah. Oh gosh.
I did a lot
I'm so hot.
Are you hot?
Yeah.
Be careful having her work on your pelvic next time. So I did a lot of research this weekend, because I was getting these downloads about history and different things I've gotten in the past, which for some reason have popped back up in the last, what has it been, about a month. And one of the things I noticed is as I was researching, I was researching material, but I was also researching platforms, right? Like we talked about last night about the podcast, which we should mention before we get off today.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching different shows and different platforms and channels that I've never seen before. I just went on like a 6 hour, and I was amazed. I was amazed at how many platforms and channels are out there and energies are out there that are speaking the same thing. The same thing. Like this number could be huge.
Mm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
serious. I mean, and I know that the algorithms control what's shown to me and this and that, but I really, really went out there and did like a shotgun approach. And I put in all different kinds of queries. And what I saw was people talking about awakening, self-empowerment, inner work on platforms that I would not necessarily consider to be like Starseed or Lightworker.
Mm. Yeah, like my friend Vince, who I shared in Solitude group last week or something. He doesn't speak the same language that we do, but the message is very much the same.
Yeah.
And the message has to be delivered in a variety of forms of language,
True.
so that everyone kind of comes to the same page.
See,
And
everybody's saying the same thing about you. You're looking
what?
particularly beautiful today.
Thanks.
You
Must be
see
because I'm here with my beautiful daughter.
you see what a little screaming will do, everybody?
Yeah.
I need to go do
Takes
something.
years off.
I look like white as a ghost, man.
Mm.
My third eye's coming back too.
Mm.
Jeez. Have you had
All right.
any headaches in the last week?
No, I haven't, but the
Physical,
couple of
anything?
weeks preceding that, I was having a lot.
Yeah, I never get them, but I've had a few in the last week.
Yeah.
Like a real
Yeah, no.
tenderness, like a sense of, like even if I press here, it's uncomfortable. Like I can
Mm,
feel it's tender, like somebody, like when you bruise something, or
yeah.
So yeah, very cool.
Mm,
You're
mm.
driving back today?
Yeah, this afternoon.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, because
y'all be careful.
yeah, I will.
Y'all be careful and
In my little spaceship. Um, yes, and yes, so that's the podcast.
podcast.
So I just want to let everyone know that we've got over 60 hours on all of the major podcasting streaming sites. So you've got Spotify, you've got iTunes. I think it's on Audible now, iHeartRadio.
Wow.
I can't even think of them all. I think it's 11 different platforms we're on. So please go out, download the Sology podcast, and it's great for when you're doing other things and you just want to be getting some downloads or listening to some inspiration. And so yeah, there's over 60 hours on there.
So would I just go to I wonder what the quickest way to query would be. Zoology podcast.
There are some links on Sology Network.
Okay.
To some of them. But if any of the podcasting platforms, just search SOULSPEAKS 5D.
Okay.
And it'll bring it up.
SOULSPEAKS 5D?
Yep.
Let's see. Spotify Speaks 5D. I'm just want to see just for.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, and we're looking for ways to expand awareness of the podcast. If anyone has any experience with that, like we'd like to really, expand awareness of the podcast, build the following of the podcast, the audio podcast.
Yeah. Yep.
So if anybody knows how to do that, so we can be on a bit more of a fast track, that'd be great.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we're doing some stuff on the site and the network and the database We tried to meet yesterday. It's probably too late today. But we'll get to it. We've got a pretty good team there, and I won't get into too much of it. But I'm gonna, we get into this another week to 10 days. I'm gonna definitely pull a show together just to explain where we're at with some graphics and images, and that's really for two reasons. One, to show people where we're at and what progress we made, and also to develop that interactive component that Soulology has.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you want to pick up a ball and run with it, here's the apparatus that's going to support that.
Yeah, that's it. We have a really strong community,
Mm-hmm.
and some absolutely beautiful souls within this community.
Yeah.
And it's time for us to share it out to broader horizons.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. Getting close. I'm getting excited.
We are. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess I'm going to go get horizontal again. Maybe till tomorrow. I don't know what. I almost feel bad. I've been laying down so much, but I sure have enjoyed it.
Flow with it.
I
Do
sure
it
have
while
enjoyed
you can.
it. I know. I want to find a good movie.
Yeah.
A good scary movie. I can't watch scary movies when Morgan's here. Somebody says, "Can we hear your wonderful, amazing laugh?"
And that worked. That made you laugh.
So, okay. Somebody said they found the. I just got it up on Spotify. Very easy. And let's see. So if I we did this through Spreaker, right? Was it Spreaker? Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. I got it. I just remembered it now. Okay. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you too.
And thank you for everything.
My pleasure.
Tell your daughter hello.